We're going to learn today a Sichois, Likkutei Sichois is Chelek, and the adding of the Sichois, the capital of the Sichois is Shvat. A very, very interesting Geschmack Sichois that the Rebbe is telling us about Shvat, and the Rebbe is going to find something very interesting. As we spoke in the car, we spoke about it, that not only that the Rebbe took it as a tzavoy and as a guidance, and the Rebbe took the Nesias with this Maimar of Bosel Gani, is also, as he mentioned, Rabbi also mentioned in the car, I never thought about it, that the Friedrich Rebbe in the Siyum of the Maimar tells us about that you have to tell the family and prepare, as we're going to learn in this Sikh also, he's mentioning it also, that this is Mamash HaTzavoy. And the Rebbe in all the letters, in everything where he says, even here, the Rebbe says that the Maimar, the Friedrich Rebbe gave out to Isis Talkus. The Choyre, in first glance, he gave it up to the Talkus of his body. That was Shvat. Rebbe says, no, tzaddikim know when the time comes, and the time is, he gave it out with a reason for that Shabbos, Shvat. And at the end of the Sikha is a very fundamental Sikha, and an unbelievable question, and the answer is beautiful. The Rebbe is changing the whole look of the world. And I'll tell you what the question is. The Rebbe asked the question, if a person comes down in this world, and the Torah says by Adam Rishon after the Chet, you are dust and you're going to go back to dust. What is the whole idea of Torah mitzvahs? What are you gaining by that? If the Guf is going to be awful. And the answer is, and the Rebbe makes the kasha even stronger, and the answer is just beautiful. Okay, we're going to start Ois Aleph. Since you do as bei dieser Istalkus kommen sich zusammen kol Maso und Terosov aber das so Ashrovat kol Yemei Chayov. There is two Igrois in Igeres HaKodesh in Tanya, Igeres Chov Zayin and Igeres Chov Ches. Igeres Chov Zayin, the Alter Rebbe writes it to Menachem Ovel, to somebody, either the Barditchever or the Mendel or Docker. So he writes that when a tzaddik, obviously that was by each and every one, but by a tzaddik there is the addition, when he passes away, all the things that he did in his life is being accumulated. All the mitzvahs in Maaseh Tovim, it's shining, it's oile lemailo, and then the Chof Ches says that it comes down lemato, and Poil Yeshuos, not some Poil Yeshuos. The Alter Rebbe is emphasizing Poil Yeshuos bekerev haaretz. So now we're going to talk about Shvat. What is Shvat? The idea that everything is accumulating of the Friedrich Rebbe's avoided. What is that, and what could we learn from that? Kol Matzah v'Teros v'Avodos Asherovat kol Yemei Chayov. Davon ist verstandig, als in der Maimar, Dibra Amastel Bostel Gani, was der Rebbe Balailule Taroizgem zu sein Yom Istalkus, must be that the Maimar that he gave that for his Istalkus, here what I said before, zu sein Istalkus. He gave it out for his Istalkus, befrat. Now we have to find something in the Maimar, and the Rebbe says in more detail, we have to find it in the Rastchole, the Siyum from the Maimar, in the beginning and in the end. Why? Because was the Teuchung von jeder Inyan setzt sich mehr Beginn sein Atchole and Siyum. We're going to learn footnote number 2. Mikiven she'atchole ve'oroish koilel kolo Inyan. We just learned 2 weeks ago in Parsha Shmois. Our whole debate, what is Shmois? Every Parsha, the name of the Parsha has to be koilel the whole Parsha. The beginning of the Maimar has to take in the whole Maimar. What is with the end? In footnote number 3. The Gemara says in Broches, everything goes according to the finish. So we have to look around at the beginning and in the end and take from that what it teaches us and what is the idea of the kol ma'aser v'teros v'avodos that it goes lemailo and comes down lemato. And not to forget that this that comes down lemato bekerev haaretz is not only by the Istalkus but by every Yom Hilule. So when it comes to Yom Hilule, it's interesting. It's a sad day, very sad day. Somebody before Ba'anosi, anybody the best of is a sad day. It comes we call it Hilule. Hilule is chastine. Because this is the idea that a tzaddik is always loyazov in Marisoi, and always thinks about his flock, about his mekushorim and mekorovim, and for Am Yisrael b'chlal. Because the Rebbe and the Friedrich Rebbe talk about Nesiya Yisrael, not Nosi Chabad. So it's a completely different look. Okay. So we have to say it Megillah in the Atchole and the Siyum. Kommt zum Ausdruck an Likkutei Ikris von Kol HaMoloi, was hat geovet b'chaim Chosman. We're going to see in this Maimar is the Likkutei or Ikris, the main point. Interesting. Just to mention what we learned 2 weeks ago with the Alter Rebbe that he passed away in Golus, to teach us how to live in Golus, how to serve the Eibishter in Golus. So we learned that even Yutes Kislev, the last one, that this is the main Likkutei of the Alter Rebbe. Yutes Kislev changed the whole line of Chabad. Before Peterburg and after Peterburg, in jail, he had the Maggid and Baal Shem Tov came to visit him, and he asked them, maybe I should stop. They said, no, you should do more. So there's a new light in after Peterburg. Same thing is here also. Because this is the Maimar that he gave out, it must be that there's something for us. Von den Nekudes der Ikrius von der Avoide von Balailule, was das der euch gemont, von der alle, was solche mit Rochov Asherei seinen. What is the main points that a Friedrich Rebbe did in his life? And he demanded from everybody that is going in his ways to do it. Two things the Rebbe says. This was the highlight of the Friedrich Rebbe. Aleph, zu verspreiten Teuro Mitzvahs, koile lech de moyeshe beteuro bechol mokem mokem. Number one is to spread Teuro Mitzvahs all over. And the emphasis that the Rebbe makes is bechol mokem mokem. In any place, don't say that there's a place that I can do it. We go to places that are not even roy to Torah mitzvahs. And if I say that they're not places for Torah mitzvahs, how much more so that they're not ready for sinners, for primis, nicht mehr Sedoi Reise. This is number one of the Friedrich Rebbe. Let's remember this. The code of the Friedrich Rebbe's life, spread Torah mitzvahs all over. Second thing, base, as the Arbeit von der Potzeit Torah mitzvahs, bechulus do menton mit der Grestos Risus. Not to push you for tomorrow, not to push you for tonight. Whenever you have a chance to do something, whatever you could do today, do today. Don't wait for tomorrow. And this way, Nikudas, weiß der Ron in der Atchole v'Shimon Maimar. Unbelievable. The Rebbe is going to show us that the beginning of the Maimar and the end of the Maimar is accumulating, is taking over the whole life of the Friedrich Rebbe. The beginning of the Maimar and the end of the Maimar. What are we going to see? To spread Torah b'chol mokim u'mokim. And the other thing is to do it b'zrizus. Let's inside Ois base. In Onet v'Maimar, bring the Rebbe Bala Ilule, the Maimar, everybody knows that the Maimar starts Bosi Legani Choshikalo, and now we have quotation from the Medrash, Legan Ein Ksivkan, Elo Legani. That's a beautiful question. I came, Shlomo Melech says, in the name of the Eibishter, that Eibishter says, Bosi Legani. Why not Bosi Legan? I came to a garden. What's Legani? So the Medrash says, Legan Ein Ksivkan, Elo Legani, Lignuni. Lignuni literally means a chuppah. That we're not going to go into it now, but by Matan Torah and with the Mishkan, there was the chuppah between the Eden and the Eibishter. Nisuin, Chasna is going to be when Moshiach is going to come. As it used to be once upon a time, not now, that there was first was chuppah, Erusin, and then was Nisuin. That's why it says Lignuni. And what does it mean, Lignuni? So the Medrash is continuing, gloss of the Medrash. Lemokoim she'oyo ikri batchilo. That the Shechina was, Shechina was before, that when they did the Mishkan, Moshe Rabbeinu did the Mishkan, Bosi Legani talks about the Mishkan, is the Ika Shechina betachtoinim moiso. The says, as the Ashchas Shechina betachtoinim was given based on Komas Mishkan. Yeah, the Shechina that came down when they do the Mishkan, as we're going to learn soon in Parshas Trumo, was to the Migdosh, Beshochanti, Besoichom. So it was the Roiv's dog, the Roivishta Bosi Legani. Bosi Legani is the Roivishta says that when Moshe Rabbeinu built the Mishkan. Is schon given betchilas Abriye. There was betchilas Abriye was the Shechina betachtoinim. There was something happened that it went away. And by the building the Mishkan, it came back. Ich schon gewähnt mit Chilas Abriye, and the Rebbe is emphasizing in the parentheses, and nicht wie der Mandomar as Dover Chidushu. There's one Mandomar in Medrash that says that the Shechina was never Lemato Yo. The Shechina just came down Lemato when Moshe Rabbeinu finished the Mishkan. But we are going according to this Mandomar that the Mishkan was, should I call it a repetition? No. A second time that it was here and it went away. Just to mention, so what happened, according to this Mandoma, Mernish was durch Chet Eitzadat. The Chatoim Shel Achov is Postak. It's not the Shechina is not there, and then noch, Beisa Komas na Mishkan, Chozar leKemo Yishoyo. Just to mention that it was, it's mentioned in the Maimar, that there was seven Averes, starting with Odom Orishan that he ate from the Chet Eitzadat. He pushed away the Shechina from earth to the first Rukia, first sky, first heaven. And then 6 more, and it went up to the 7th heaven. Who are they? Odom Orish is the first one. Cain killed Evel is the second one. Doir Enosh started avoid Zorah. Then we have Doir Amabel, Doir Afloge, Stoim, and Mitzrayim in the time of Avram Avinu. That we know when Sorah came there and everything, there was the lowest of the nations. So those 7, they pushed up the Shechina all the way to Lemailo. And then came the 7 tzaddikim, and they brought it down. Moshe Rabbeinu, we're going to learn the Maimar on Shabbos. So it says there that Moshe Rabbeinu is the Shvi, Kol HaShvi Chavivin. He brought it down Lemato. For us, what is us Negia the most? Odom Orishus Avere that he pushed it from Mir Lemailo, that it went from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is not so important. It is, but it's not to us. The Friedrich Rebbe in Maimar is keeping it. So mentions just Moshe Rabbeinu, bring it down, and Odom pushing it up. So the 7 tzaddikim, just to remember who it is, it's Avrom, Yitzchok, Yankov, then goes Levi, then goes Keos, then goes Amram, then goes Moshe. So this is the 7 that they brought it back down. Avrom brought it down from 7 to 6, and the same as we said in names, they brought it down Lemato. Okay. When in them Siyam, so this is the beginning of the Maimar, what the Friedrich Rebbe is bringing. When in them Siyam Maimar brings the Medrash, Ein Odom Shalit Loimar, Amtinu Liat She'es Cheshbon Yisrael, The Medrash says to people, the Medrash tells us, please, you can't, you don't have the power to say, Rebbeinu Shalom, wait, I didn't finish yet my business, I have to set it up, I have to tell my family, Tavoy and everything. Don't do it right away. Why? Because it says later, was the Rebbe Tormen nicht ablegen auf später. Remember, the Friedrich Rebbe says the two things is number one to spread b'chol mokoim. Second thing is besdrizus. What is the end of the Maimah? We see already the link. What does it say? Don't push it off. Was the Rebbe Tormen nicht ablegen auf später der Arbeit, was man noch zu tun. Warum? Mir yedei tos money. Same thing is in avodas Hashem. Don't push off anything for next day. Mit dem Bringen betrilas besima Maimah or die zwei Midrashim. We just learned the two Midrashim that the Friedrich Rebbe brings. Bosi legani ksiv kan. And the Medrash ein odom shalit lo imaramtinu li. Vaysteron the zwei nekudas hanal. This is exactly the two nekudas of the highlight of the Friedrich Rebbe's life. And the Rebbe said there's two I don't know what you call it in English. The two dots. It shows that it's coming explanation, right? The zwei nekudas hanal. Okay. Mit dem Medrash beschrieben Maimah Beisteron, als der Arbeit darf getan werden bis Jesus, was we said before. Mit dem Medrash betrilas der Maimah, the beginning of the Maimah, it shows us what is darf bestehen, in what darf bestehen der Arbeit, in what is the work has to be. Verspreiten Teuro, Mitzvahs, Vuchal Mokom, Ketel Kamon, I'm going to explain where we see it in the beginning of the Maimah with the Medrash of Bosti Legani. Ois Gibel. Bishas Haid betracht sich in der Masse von der Welt. Now the Rebbe comes down to tell us what goes on in this world. Aid is sitting down by himself in his house and is thinking for himself. Was Toilomazde is doch wie der alte Rebbe sagt, he sees that Toilomazde is, the alte Rebbe says in Tanya Perik Lamed Vov, the alte Rebbe uses the lotion mole, klipois v'sitrache. It's full of klippos v'sitrache. Das heißt, dass jeder Nekude von Toilomazde is full mit klippos. Anything that you look, anything that you touch, and in general, the alte Rebbe says in Tanya that even things that you are allowed to eat, anything that you see, anything that there is created, it's not osir, it's not, it's klippos noiga. Everything as a net clipper. Small clippers. The says that Zedon and Kudef and Namazi is full with clippers. Just to mention, that's not such a long sikha, so we could say some things that push it to take with us in Lerm for why do we call it clipper? Clipper v'sitrache. Why is it? Clipper is a good thing. Clipper is covering of the orange. Clipper is covering of the fruit, and it's watching it. The same as clipper is watching of the orange. Same thing by us. It's not good because it's covering of elikus. It makes the likus be'elem. When you look at that table, you see the table, not the likus. This is the idea that clippers is not good. The says that Zedon and Kudef von Eilomazde is full with clippers. Bizas the name von Eilomazde. The Rebbe gave the name to this world was the name in jedes Tag weiter firmus. Obviously, anything that it's a name, the name shows on who it is Oilom HaKlippos v'sitrache. That's what we call it. Oilom Elem, Oilom HaKlippos v'sitrache. Now comes the Rebbe say, when a person sits down and he meditates and he looks into it, can aber sich trachten. He could make a calculation and say something very interesting. Wie bald, als der Rebbe dort was schaffen, die Welt etwas da öffnen. Also soll sein Oilom HaKlippos. Der Rebbe created it in Oilom HaKlippos. Ist doch nicht scheich, als ich, der Rebbe underlined ich. As if soll sie können übermachen. I'm not going to change it if the Rebbe made it. Gewalt das so, weil sich so I have an idea what to do. I'll separate myself from the world and sein abgeschlossen in alle Dames und Teure und viele und nicht zu tun mit Welt. I'm going to leave the world, I'm going to sit in Koilel and sit and learn all day and be home and not have to do with the world because it's a dangerous place. How could I change the world what the Rebbe made? If them is the Rebbe must be gleich mit Chilas. This is what the Friedrich Rebbe is telling us in the beginning of the Maimah. As the other Rebbe, those was the Welt is an Oilom HaKlippos, is es nicht an ihm, was mit Sadem Erzem aus von Eilomazde ist Muchach Hazoi. No, es ist ein zugekommenes Dach. This that the Oilom HaKlippos is an addition. It's added to the world. When the world was created, was Zika Schrine betachtoinim oiso. The seven Averes pushed it away. The Schrine came down again, but it's still Oilom HaKlippos. Ein zugekommenes Dach, an ihm, was ist in Toinstav geworden. It's added on the Achre Abriya, after the creation. Durch ein Chet Eitzadas, v'chul, as we said before. Aber mit Zadir Etemeus, what is the essence of the world? A garden. Was ist legani, der Rebbe das ist? Is gofaran a mile in Oilomazde legabe de Oilom Elyonim. There is a big advantage of Oilomazde Agashmi in relation even to Atziles. Warum? Iker Schrine is davke betachtoinim oiso. And in the Maimah, the beginning of the Maimah of Shvat that the Rebbe accepted in the season of Shin Yud, the Rebbe is explaining there from the Alter Rebbe in Tanya, the Rebbe is adding on an explanation. Why Atziles? Why not Atziles? Why davke Astir? So the Rebbe says Atziles yesh lo im yeride. Atziles is oyer. Oyer from the moyer is a yeride. When it comes to lemato begashmi, where we see a oilom gashmi that it looks like it made himself, we have to come to a realization that the Rebbe created. This is where you get atzmus. So Atziles is oyer and Asiya is atzmus. So what do we see? The world is an addition to it. That's why you'll be able to change it. So, all right, one question is satisfied. We answer them. The Rebbe says there's another tiny. Beginning of the world was different. It was take ikashchine betachtonim also. Aber jetzt there's the world full mit klippes voroshem goivrim boy. How could I do it? How will I be able to do it? Then kommt der Rest weiter in Maimar. As the Tachlis HaKavod in Brias, Ve'isavus Oelemes is those in middle of the Maimar. The Friedrich Rebbe Gorzin brings down the very famous medrash from the Tanner Tanchume, Nisave HaKodesh Baruch Hu Lies Leisborach Di Rebbe Tachtoinim. And he says the Kavod wird doch sicher durchgeführt werden. If the Rebbe is tzedek, I created the world to make a Di Rebbe Tachtoinim, don't complain. How could I do it? How will I change it? No, the Rebbe gave you the koyach, and the Rebbe does rotzen for sure is going to be fulfilled. Warum wir bald das die Metzies Abrie ist beschaffen geworden und sie wird beschaffen bechol rega verega. The world is created and she's being created every second. The Alter Rebbe has a very interesting, I don't know, call it observation or explanation. And he's talking about, number one is the Alter Rebbe says, am chadish betuve bechol yom tov in davening every day. The Alter Rebbe says bechol rega verega. Yeah, what does it mean? It means that the Alter Rebbe says the shoitim, yeah, the shtus of the philosophers, that they say that the Rebbe created the world. They're not atheists. They believe. But they say the Rebbe created the world and he left. And they compare it to somebody who take a piece of silver and made a goblet, he made a becher from it. The Alter Rebbe says it's a shtus because they changed only the form. They took something that was there from the Rebbe and they changed it. The Rebbe made from nothing something, you must push it all the time. The Alter Rebbe brings a raya from Kriyas Yamsuf that we're going to learn in next week's parsha, that Kriyas Yamsuf, that the water is the nature to be done. And the Rebbe made that it stood up and it even went through. Right? So it says that the wind was holding it all night. Just to change the nature of the water, we hold it all night. How much more so when you create something from nothing that you have to create it all the time. So the world is created every second. So lieb der Kavone of Nisav HaKodesh Baruch Hu. Ist doch nicht scheich, als den Yone Abrie, meinst du, Bnei Odom, could not change the Eibishter's decision that he wants to have Adire Lemato Yiru. So not koyach zum Enag sein und nicht zulassen Chas v'Sholem, it's impossible that they should not let. So you could do it. Sof kol sof, when the world werden Adire Lo Yisborach. Mashiach is going to come, then it's going to be a Likkutei Begilui. You're going to see everything. It says V'ro kol bosto yardov. The eyes are going to see it, and the gashmis of the world is going to be changed to such a level as a medrash that you're going to walk in the street and you see a tree and you want to take an apple. The tree is going to talk to you and tell you, "I'm ole. You can't eat it. Not allowed to wait another year. You'll be able to eat it." It's unbelievable the things what it's going to happen there. This is going to be the dire for the Eibishter, and we have to prepare it. Otherwise, nothing is going to be. Kommt doch dass der Itzkiger Shinui in Welt. So the Rebbe comes at a conclusion that the world at the beginning was so then was an addition of not good klippes. Mashiach is going to come, it's going to be again. So now when it's this, it's not real. Because the real thing is what it was at the beginning, it is going to be by the end. The Rebbe brings proof. There were in the Gemara, in the Aloha, we have such a thing, as we're going to see it in the Sichois. The Meile is those was the Anoilom HaKlippes is a Shinui HaChoizer LeBriyos. It's not change. It's changed from what it was before, but it's going to come back when Mashiach comes to that. So even now, is the Aloha is that it's like it is without any klippes. So we have the koyach to change it. Warum sof kol sof doch kommen at Zeit, wenn es Vroach hatu me'ave benoret, das yeah, wie sich gewen koide machet und Shinui HaChoizer LeBriyos lo yishmei Shinui. If it's going to be the same as it was before was Ika Shchini Betachtoinim. Mashiach is going to come, it's going to be again Shchini Betachtoinim, is lo yishmei Shinui. It's not called a Shinui. Even now is Adire. We learn Torah, we do mitzvahs, we give it doke. Whatever we do is Adire Lo Yisborach. Ubefrat, as the Shinui is nicht nur Azer with Ken Choizer Lebriyos. The Gemara says the Aloha is Shinui that could be. Here for sure it's going to be. So it's not it could. That's the answer that we could do it and we have to do it. Bald as the Gilu Leosid wird sein in a neuen Fun. Molor Deus Havai Kamaim Lo Yom Chasim. Apostle in Yeshaya and the Rambam is finishing his Sefer Yad HaChazokah with these words, Molor Deus Havai Kamaim Lo Yom Chasim. And it's going to be like with Avon Rosh Hashanah in Shemoneh Esrei. V'yeda kol pol. Anything that's in this world is going to know the catapult that the Rebbe is creating them and sustaining them. As a Chista B'Pnimius is as though in jeder Nekude vom Welt. Now it's also the same thing. Even a place that it looks like it's rebelling and against the Likus, it's also. So sein Adire Lo Yisborach und der Rebbe darf mefit sein Yadus bechol mokem umokem. Begdei zu megale sein dem Toiv, was is do in jedem Ort. Our job is to go to each and every place, even the lowest of the places, and reveal there that the good that is there. Or is that it? The Maimar, so we understand, the Rebbe is not finished. The Rebbe is going to tell us exactly what is the beginning of the Maimar and some of the Maimar related to the two things of the Friedrich Rebbe's main thing. Number one is that bring Chassidus to everywhere, Torah, mitzvahs, and Chassidus. And the second thing is do it bezrizus. Okay. Now the Rebbe is going to just add on something very interesting in Geschmack, that the story with this Maimar that we learn, he gave it out for his Talkus. We have to find a kesher with the end of his Talkus. Oh, is that it? The Maimar of the Rebbe gave to Yom his Talkus, he gave it out to the day that he passed away. Is the Roy Anal in Omfang from Maimar, verbunden euch mit dem Ingen von Istalkus. We have to find a connection between the beginning of the Maimar and Istalkus. Lachen wir den Nishome wird Nistalik von Guf, wer der Guf nifsat. Yeah? It says in footnote 21, ki a Guf nifsadat mo you offorato. Yeah? Another Rabbi is asking a question in footnote 21, ומה שהגוף אין הנפסat תקף שנסתליק הנפש ממנו. If you tell me that the Guf is offer, why is it not being destroyed right away? The Rebbe answers two answers. Aleph, she'ein istabos haguf ma'anefesh. The guf has its own chayes also. That's why it takes time till the guf is being, what is it called? They have a word for it. Till it disintegrates. And beis, gam lachar estalkos adayin ruach hanefesh nimsal haguf. If the ruach hanefesh is still there, that's why it's not happening right away. Lacher wird nicht schon mehr stark von guf, wer der guf nifsat. Und da kommt auf die Scheile. Mentioned at the beginning of the Siche. The Rebbe is going to ask here an unbelievable Scheile. And the answer is just beautiful. Listen to the Shaila. Was is the Tachlis und der ganze Avoide, was Aid Horevet? What is the ultimate goal of all the Avoide that we have, and not only Avoide? We struggling. Horevet is exerting yourself. B'meshech kol yemei chayov, of oisu eidlen sein Guf. That's the whole Avoide, that we have to purify our Guf. Oy blache ist al kusoi, ve'ata nifsat. Nothing is left. So what is the idea? Why are we doing it? Footnote 22. How do we know that the ultimate goal is the goof? We were looking at footnote 22. The Tachlis Yeridas HaNeshama Lematoi Loi Bishvil Atmo. The Alter Rebbe is emphasizing it's not for itself. The Neshama doesn't need repair, doesn't need purification. She comes down Ki'im, B'dei Letakin Saguv Nefesh HaBa'amis V'chelkoi Boilam. Purify yourself, and you, what the Rebbe gives you in the world, put on film with somebody, going to train, say, Kapitel Tilim, learn Chitas, to purify your place also. Fine, but this is not the ultimate goal, because it's not a business to send out the neshama only for the guf. The guf comes from a higher place, from Oilem Atoyu. After you purify the guf takes the neshama with the higher. But the neshama itself doesn't need repair, doesn't need purification. The Rebbe is finished up. Everybody knows the Ayoim Yoim. The Rebbe brings down that the Baal Shem Tov says apostle. Coming up in Mishpotim. Sire chamoy sonacha roy v'tachat masoy v'chodalto ma'azoy v'loy. Also, the Baal Shem Tov says beautiful. Sire chamoy sonacha. You're going to see the choimer, the choimer of the goof. Soinacho is your enemy. He doesn't let you serve the Eibishter. So you know what? As the Rebbe said at the beginning of the Sikha, I'm going to go into shul, learn all day, have nothing to do with the world. The chodalto ma'azoy v'loy. You're going to start fasting. You're going to break the goof. He says no. Also, we work with them. The whole idea of creation, the whole idea of everything is to work with the goof. The Rebbe is asking a question, what is the tachlis? What's the ultimate goal? And it's not finished. The kasha is becoming even stronger. And then we're going to see what the answer is. And the kasha is noch starker, even stronger. He says, doch nicht kennen, was werden ihm nicht chadish. The Rebbe is going to say something very geschmack and interesting. The goof is going to be awful. It's not a innovation. It's not something that it's new. But at the same posik after the chet, offorato vel ofotoshu. So if it was the offer, it's going to be offer. So the Rebbe is going to say that even when we are alive, we are also offer. So before he asks the question, what's the idea of learning and davening? But the end you're going to be offer. Now the Rebbe says the question is even stronger. Even now we are offer. Okay, let's see inside. Und die Kaffee ist noch stärker. Das, was der Guf wird nicht gesagt, das ist ein Nefesh von der Guf. Das ist doch nicht kein Ingen, was wird in ihm nicht chadish. It's not an innovation. No, כמו שכוסוף, אופורטו ולא פוטוסוף. אז מצד dem, was euch Ifter ist Ophorato, der Riber, ולא פוטוסוף. That's what it says. When you use that, now we're going to use the idea of Shinei HaChoyzer LeBriosoi on the opposite side. Shinei HaChoyzer LeBriosoi, lo yishmei shinui. So, his Ophor is going to be Ophor. Right? So even in the middle, when there is the shinui, it's not a shinui. So we offer now also. Is doch memele nicht kein mit Samiti, euch eider Shov la Afore. Before dying is also not is offer. Weil das so kommt der häusliche eure, als der Weide von Teure Mitzvah ist verbunden mit an Indien, was ist doch bei Esa Weide. Not only we walking in them we dying. Even when we walk, we offer. Nicht kein mit Samiti Chas v'Sholem. Now the Rebbe is going to try to answer about Etzem Luz, and then the Rebbe is going to give us the answer. Nagam, as the Etzem Luz was bleibt über von Guf. What's called in English? Etzem Luz. As a luz? Yeah, that's what we call it? Right. Saying the back of the head. That's what we learn as children.
At the tip of the spine.
That's what they taught us. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, Etzem Luz was bleibt über von Guf. That came on nicht nifsat und euch auf der Trief von Klolos Aguf steht ich yomei secho. There's a medrash bereshis rabbe that there's an etzem luz, a bone that called luz, and he stays. Even the old guf is disintegrate. The etzem luz is always there. And even the Rebbe brings proof from apostic in Yeshaya. It says ich yomei secho. The choire, if only the etzem luz is staying, and then the meisim are getting up. It's called Nivru. Ivru Misecho. They're going to be created again because there's nothing there. The Yeshaya Novi says no. Ichyu. From this etzem is going to be created a new guf. The same. It's going to be created a guf. So it's the same thing. Nicht Ivro. Weil der Eufmatrie wird sein nicht, dass es wird beschaffen werden a neuer guf. No. Der guf wird nie werden von dem etzem los. The body is going to be built up of the Etzem Luz, so it's nothing new. It's again the same thing. I see that it's not awful because it's going to be from this is going to be built up the goof. The Rebbe says no, it's not. As the goof is offered. The whole body is being disintegrated. Und das was es man sich mit sein in is wel auf Toshu. Clear in the Teure offered wel auf Toshu. Come doch me, the Rebbe mentioned them by verbringen once. It's written also in Swarm. Baal Shem Tov said that he could be oily lemailo like Eliyahu Novi, right? But he wants to be mekayim the posuk ve'lo fotoshu. That's why he's ready to pass away. In name of the Baal Shem Tov. Yeah. Come doch me lo is that those gufe was the oif matrie. That sein nicht bei der Brie Chadosho. Nor as it nie werden von dem Etzem Luz. It's ein from Brie Chadosho. It's not going to be from Etzem Luz, but there's nothing there. There's only the Etzem. So whatever's going to be creating is going to be a new creation. So we're coming back to the question, if it's a new creation, so even now when we serve the Eibishter, we also offer. Because offer you're going to be. So it's shinui it's not a shinui. So we offer now. So we come back to the same question. Is it saying from Bria Chadosho, warum der Gather a Guf mit in Yonoi, what's the gather of the Guf? Offer. We made it, so we're coming back to the question, what is going on here? I say the Rebbe is going to answer it. If them is the answer, as I said at the beginning, very fundamental of the question and the answer, what is the whole tachlis of the Rebbe wanted? Okay. If them is the answer as verkehrt, the opposite. V'bald, as ik eschine betachtoinim oiso, was der Fall is, wovon vochart und davke in dem Guf HaGashmi, wer was die eschine? Betachtoinim. Davke lemato hier in Guf HaGashmi, in Oidam HaGashmi. That's what ik eschine was. Atzilis is not ik eschine. Lemato hier is ik eschine. And wovon vocharto, the Rebbe says wovon vocharto, the Alter Rebbe brings in Tanya in Perik Memtes, very interesting. We stay every day by davening, wovon vocharto mikolam veloshen. Right before Krishma. What is it? Yes, person, any person in the street will say, it shows us because of the neshama. It's impossible to say it. Why? Because what is prire? Prire is when you have two things, the same thing, and you take one of them without any reason, this is called prire. If one of them is better than the other, it's not prire already. If the Rebbe would choose us because of the neshama, it's not prire, because the goyim don't have a neshama. So why is he choosing us? Because the guf of Aid, the lav glagoy, is the same thing. So the prayer of the Eibishter, listen what the Rebbe is starting. The prayer of the Eibishter is in the guf of Aid. Is bemele the guf ha-metzias amiti. Was the name is kein efset shaykh. It can't be impossible. A thing that the Eibishter was boicher, and the Eibishter created the world that keshchine betachtoinim oiso is that can't say that it's not a metzias. And the shinui was is in him geworden durch dem Chet Eitzadas in der Metzuve von ihm. The choyre became a shinui that were operator well operator. He's blois in sein Chitzonius. That's what it happens. Nicht in sein Etzemeus. Warum meinst du Bnei Odom? Kann nicht mechane sein Chas V'Sholem die Prire Erasmus. The Rebbe what chose in the world. The Rebbe chose in us. So Chet Eitzadas and all the other Chatoim could not change it. We see the Ve'olof Otoshuv, it's just Bechitzonius.
Rebbe's word about Yitzhak Hushadak for the really in the Yid bets into me.
Right. And we learned last week in Israel, Oisha Bom Noita. The Alter brings in Tanya from Esther that she didn't tell who she is, that even a Yid B'shas Achet is Oisha Bom Noita. Yeah. Vaserot Boicha given in a Yiddischen Guf. It can't be destroyed. It can be disrupted. And those Guf is the Bio the Roiv, was the Retzem lose, Ot nicht nenne given von der Meitzadas. This is the explanation. Why is that lose staying by each and every one of us, by each and every one of the world? Because it says that the Etzem lose did not eat from the Eitzadas. What? I think it says that Chsidium Oilem of Gan Eden, there's a special place, and I think they're going to be also, it's going to be Goyim. The Zorim Vorot Sonchem and all these things that it's going to be. I don't know. I don't know. What's the Sturov? I don't know.
It's a goof. The goof is the same, but
Yeah, okay. Come back to us with the answer.
Challenge.
Yeah. Okay. Etzem Luz what came on Nifstad is never destroyed, weil there is the Atmius from Guf. This is the Etzem of the Guf. And in Atmius from Guf is the Shaykh kein Chet and Hefsed. In Atmius they're not Shaykh Hefsed. Let's do footnote 32. What happens with this idea of Etzem Luz? Well, Oir makes note. But the Oif Choil, there's a bird, a kind of a bird that it's called Choil. Nisraf, Elo Shemeshayah Boi Kebeitzo V'choizer Chulu V'chai. This bird lives 1,000 years. After 1,000 years, there's a fire in his nest. It gets burned and it's left from the size of an egg, and then he rebuilds the same thing. I?
It's called the Sphinx.
Yeah? Okay, he calls it Choil. The Beye includes the whole body that was burned. Same thing is by us. The Etzem Luz is including the whole body that we have. So there's no such thing as destroyed. There's no such thing as the Rebbe's Peule and Bchire could be destroyed. V'uda Ashar Nisraf, the Rebbe asked a question, why is the rest Nisraf? Yeshloima Bepashtus, the Oichel Shart Vorim and Asim Davam Bosok, because he's eating other things. That's why it has to get destroyed, the body, and then from the egg, from the essence, like we have the Etzem Luz, is being rebuilt. Just interesting. I looked up in the Medrash. The Rebbe brings down the Medrash, and also the Matnas Kehune. The Matnas Kehune is a Pirush of the Medrash. Who is it? Have an idea? You remember? It's a Rishon Achron. Who is it? Very interesting, because Matnas Kehune, the Rebbe is quoting him, and he says something very interesting that a pastor should be a Rishon. I'll tell you what he says. Okay. It says like this. It says that when after Chavo listened to the Nochosh and she ate from the Eitz Hadas, she asked her husband to eat because she didn't want him to be alive and she's going to die. So she forced him to eat. It says he was screaming, and everybody knows the Balaturim, that she eat him with a piece of wood, with a branch. You were looking Balaturim in the parsha there. So, and then she gave to Be'emes, Chayes, V'oif, which everybody ate. Everybody listened. The only one that didn't listen is this oif that is called choil. And it says very interesting that there's a posik in Eoif, ukechoil arbe yomim. I'm going to give your days like this animal choil. So we see that the choil is living. And then the Medrash is finishing as the Bei Rabbi Yanai says that he lives 1,000 years, then he gets burned and is lived the egg, and he becomes again, all the limbs and everything comes back. And
there's only one of them?
What do you mean? No, there's maybe more. It's oif that's called choil, could be a lot of them. Why should it be one? It could be a lot. He mentioned what it's called in English.
Right, it's a phoenix.
Phoenix that lives 1,000 years?
Phoenix is a myth. I question of
The
whole lot of read Deutsche books about a phoenix. First time I was the sources in Titus. It sounds like it bursts into flames.
Yes.
Reactions to war.
That's what it says in the Goyish books. Very interesting. Okay, now the Rebbe says, look in the Matnas Kehune. Matnas Kehune is a question. How come that is being burned? It didn't eat from the Eitz Hadas. So the Matnas Kehune says because there was the Rebbe gave death on the whole world, so he could not be different. But he still left the egg and he's going up. And then he says something. Then Matnas Kehune says something very interesting, unbelievable. Achidush niflo beyoisa. He says that could be when the Rebbe created the world lechatchile was that each and every person should live 1,000 years, because one day by the Eibishter is We're going to live one day of the Eibush just 1,000 years, and either be burned or die, and right away come back from the Etzem Luz. Maybe intention of creation was like this, a very interesting matmaskone. The Rebbe said to look in there. Okay, so let's go further. Und wie bald, in the last paragraph on page 84, und wie bald also Bonne Bochato ist doch euch in Klolus Aguf, right? Ist davon verstandig, als mit Pnimius ist euch, der Rebbe shows not in the Luz, in the Klolus Aguf of Aid, right? Is davon verstandig, als mit Pnimius ist euch in Klolus Aguf, nicht Scheich in Efse. There's no Efse in the whole body. Und das muss Wert los, mit Lovoi, Nivne Wärm von Etzem Luz. This is what we said that it's going to be built from Etzem Luz. Is es mit sein Indien Gufe. Es zu wie die Guf, not afke wie die Etzem Luz. Weil in ihm ist doch Chiras Atmos. Because he has Chiras Atmos in die Guf. Wie sehr kommt ist, listen, the Rebbe is changing the Shinei HaChoizer LeBriyosoi to the opposite way. As the Rebbe, b'tzadem vo Shinei HaChoizer LeBriyosoi lo yishmei shinui, is a roich iter ha-metzis amiti. The opposite. Okay. Oizvov. The Yetzirah is the Chober, so the Rebbe gave us the explanation. What happens if you think, if I could change the world? Yes, you could. And then the Rebbe said about what is the ultimate goal of the Avoide? The Rebbe answered. Now the Rebbe says, but we still have a Yetzirah, and he's doing his job very, very good. We have to learn from him. He's not getting tired, and he's there. The Alter Rebbe said when he was in jail that I always understood that the Gemara calls him Melech Zoken. He's a Melech. He comes when you're born. Nefesh Elokis comes in only by the Bar Mitzvah. He's 13 years before, and then it's called Zoken. Melech, I understand. And Zoken, I understand. He's there from the beginning. Why is he Xil? Why are you calling him Shoite? The Alter Rebbe says, if I'm in jail, why did he come to jail? He's in jail also. Wherever you are, he doesn't let go. He's always there. Either he's in front of you or he's waiting for you by the corner. He's always there. So the Rebbe says that Yetzirah is the Chober an Umen b'melachta Gemara in Shabbos. And the Rebbe brings that in the footnote. Kachum noso shel Yetzirah. That's his job. He's telling you today. He's trying to get you in his net. So what does he do? He tells you to do something good. Because tell you something bad he can do. And then he gets you in. Is the Achiv im Schlock top die Teine. As man kann soll nicht läuft mit dem Guf und mit der Welt. We took away this complaint that we can't really change the world. Durch der Rasbore, als mit ihm seine Sigur Toiv und Gdusche, und der Avoid ist bloß für euch bringen dem Toiv, was ist der, mit ihm ist Lagilu. We learned that we have to bring out, the world is now also good. Bostelek Gani. It's a garden, the Rebbe was coming by verbringen. It's a garden. So, was ist denn, mit ihm ist Lagilu, euch daran einzuteilen mit Menschenlieder, jetzt comes in a new Teine. Pnimius, seine doch der Guf, und Eilamaze Toiv, euch koidem Avoido, a new Teine. What is he going to say? That you tell me that with Pnimius, the world and the Guf are good. So what is your rush to go do good things? Leave it to somebody else. You go sleep, rest. Tomorrow you'll do something. Don't be so hasty to do it. That's his time now. Let's see inside. So he's going to say, Pnimius and the Guf, and Eilamaze Toiv, euch koidem Avoido. Va'afilu b'negat zu Gilui. Der Gilui ist doch euch hat sicheres Dach. Asov kosov durch den Mieten oder durcheinander reden, weil sie wäre dir Lois Boah. We said before that the Rebbe's intention must be fulfilled. There's going to be Moshiach, there's going to be a Dire Betachtoinim. So he says, ein was hast du was zu kochen sich? Hast du explain kochen sich? Huh? I can say like we said in 770 by Fabrenges, a Rebbe misbashel b'mifzoim.
Boiling.
Boiling him.
Passion involved.
Okay. In 770 by Fabrengen, somebody who doesn't know Hebrew said, a Rebbe misbashel b'mifzoim. It is not said, Rebbe kochtach mifzoim. So he said, a Rebbe misbashel b'mifzoim. Anyway, so let's go. Adire lo izborach, ein was zu was kochen. What do you saw in the Avoide with the Visibility to wahr sein, mit Sache sein im Guf und Chelek? What are you rushing? What are you doing? Befragt, listen to the words. Was ist das der Gewalt? Und du wirst es ablegen, ein paar Weile später. What's so bad if you push it off for tomorrow? Next week I'm going to do it. This week I'm on vacation. I'm not doing anything. If them is the Rebbe Valai Lule Masber in Siyam von dem Maimar, the Rebbe is explaining as Friedrich Rebbe, as es ist do Aleph, as es ist do der Ingen von Erste Cheshbeinoistai, Atavele Beisi. Und wie bewusst der Rentner von alten Rebben, there is sometimes a calculation that somebody says. Medrash says that you can't do it because ain't other midaita. But a lot of people are fooling themselves and they do it. They make cheshbonis, they make calculations. And the Rebbe brings an interesting story from the alten Rebben. Du hast alles erzählt, was du darfst, und neu was darf man dir, Sagst du gar nicht. There was a very big Mekusher of the Alter Rebbe, and he had a lot of money. He was a größer Gewirr married off his kids, and a Sichois of the Friedrich Rebbe, and then he married off Yesoimim and other people that have no money, giving stock and everything. One day, this the Redel had reggaeton, the Redel, the wheel turned and became a poor person. Came into the Alter Rebbe and he told them, "What happened to me? Look what I am. I'm nothing. I have nothing. I have nothing." Alter Rebbe says with his nig. The Friedrich Rebbe says with his nig Yodua, as the Rebbe said by Verbringen Purim Yitches. Ta'amuru Likkutei v'avaye. Alter Rebbe was talking everything with a nig. So he said, "You told me everything that you need. What are you needed in this world? You didn't tell me." He went out and he was crying and he was staying there by the Alter Rebbe in shul, learning and davening. And then a few days later, the Alter Rebbe called him in and told him, because you went out and you cried and you understood what you are needed for in this world, go home and you're going to get back your money. You're going to be giving stock and you're going to be the same as you were before. Okay. So we see here that there's no cheshbonis. So base, the Friedrich Rebbe is finishing up. Mi yodea ite v'zmanoi. Jeder Inyan shebaoilem is ausgestellt von früher durch wenn man die Sache soll ins Bare werden. The Rebbe set up the world that each and every one, if something comes in my eyes, I go on vacation and I see a person that looks to me like I eat. You have time, go over, ask him if he's Jewish. The Rebbe let this eat, put on film with you. If you not want to put him on film, you missed, and the Rebbe missed. So the Rebbe says that each and everything in the world is created with a cheshbon, which generation, and who should do it. Also ich ausgestellt in was war man der Büro soll getan in which time things that were done 100 years ago 200 years ago things that have to be done in this generation bemeil ist doch recht. It's very big possible as durch Ablegung im später soll Chas v'Sholem verlieren sein Cheshbon Beis v'chulu. God forbid. If that's what he does, he could lose the thing and not have it. The Rebbe says in 37 bedugmas Yitzias Mitzrayim shut cholios ke'erev fine. You can't push it off. What happens if you didn't stay in Mitzrayim another Erefine, closing the eyes? They wouldn't be able to go out in one more second. The Rebbe, muss der Avoide getan werden bis Risus. So we have both things of the Friedrich Rebbe in the beginning of the Maimar, and the end of the Maimar has to be done bis Risus. Nicht verlieren kein ein Rega in der Arbeit von Apotas Teuro Mitzvahs Bichlal und Apotas Mayones Chassidus Bichlal. Not to lose 1 minute, 1 second from doing the Avoide of Apotas Mayones Chassidus and Teuro Mitzvahs. Bechol Mokem Mokem, both things. Und das darf getan werden, not enough. Es darf getan werden bis Simche v'chefetz v'chulu. The Rebbe underlined v'chefetz. With Gishmak, with Simche, don't do like somebody is forcing you and like if a yoke on you and you have no choice, you have something that is pushing you. Das bemeile kommt Risus. The Rebbe brings down from Igeres HaKodesh that Simche brings Risus. ובלושן רמב"ם, בנגיע למועצת המשיח, very interesting Gishmak word that the Rebbe is bringing here, בנגיע למועצת it says Nisavu. The Rambam in Ilches, let's see, 39. Ilches Tshuva Perik Tes Haloche Beis, Nisavu Kod Yisrael Nevi'im V'Chachomeim. And it says also in Ilches Melochim, by the end of Ilches Melochim, why do we have the time to have Mashiach? Why do we want Mashiach? The Rebbe is connecting here, very interesting. Why is the Rambam using the notion Nisavu? Why Nisavu? Rotzu Israel, Roitzim Israel Mashiach, because they want to have time to learn and daven instead of the Eibishter. What's Nisavu? The Rebbe says, look how interesting. V'Shloimar, Shezebo Zetalye. This is what the Rambam says, Nisavu, we have a time for Mashiach to fulfill the Eibishter's time. That he wants to have the Rebbe Tachtonim. Look how beautiful. V'Shloimar Shezebo Zetalye, Nisavu Kol Israel ben Nisavu Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's what we want. Lios Leisbor, the Rebbe Tachtonim. And that's what the Rambam finished up zugerät die ganze Welt zum Kiyum HaYiyud. It says in Yeshaye, Molo Oretz Deis Havai Kamayim La Yom Echastim Bekorov Mamish. Sichois Shvat, V'Shabbos Parshas V'Shalach Tovshin of Tes.